talked right before.
Ooh, we lost a piece.
What are the chances
Don't worry
of
about
that
it. I think it's gone.
I don't think I'm going to find it. Monifa and I had a conversation before the show about pork chops, which is one of my favorite things to make.
Ooh, look how
and as a matter
juicy.
of fact, I often will make them using some of the Lono Life bone broth.
Nice.
But with this particular pork chop from Rastelli's, the #1 food brand here at QVC, as you can see, the tender juiciness is already built in. So you really don't have to add anything but a pan, a cooking vessel. You'll have your choice of either all of them in the maple brown sugar, or you can get all 10 in the Steakhouse flavor, which, by the way, sold out when we debuted this offer earlier this year. Only about 300 remaining. Or you can get the combo, so that's going to give you 5 of each, and there's only about 500 of those available. We also offer this on auto delivery, so you can lock into this price and have this ship every 60 days for 1 full year. So please ask about that. And before we get into doing anything else, I want to invite another
Spicy Girl?
Spicy Girl.
I heard you talk about Spicy Girls, and I was like, I'm not even working today.
This is Chelsea Spice.
Ooh,
Here you go. We'll give you a fork.
I'm really good. How are you guys?
Jump right on in there.
I'm so glad.
Get a little taste. What's
That's
happening?
the Steakhouse flavor.
Steakhouse pork chop.
That is so yummy.
This is like the tenderloin of a pork chop too, and we're going to talk with Ray about that. So what do you have
so
going on?
perfectly seasoned. Okay, 3 hours.
Yep.
Patio and garden update. Everything you need to get your backyard, your patio looking perfect for spring and summer. We're going to have lots of fun over on QVC too, so hop on over and see
I'm
me
going to
too.
be shopping. I'm doing that. I'm
mean,
decorating
Jump right
my
in
patio.
there.
I'm going to take a pork chop for
it.
the
You want a
road.
whole
Why
thing?
not?
You
You
guys,
want a
this
whole
is
pork
so
chop? Isn't that tender?
Ray knows I love everything they do, and this is so yummy.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
guys,
All
thanks
right.
for the snack.
Thank
I really
you.
appreciate
Thanks
it.
for
Good to see you.
coming.
Okay, I'll
Good
see
to
you later.
you.
Bye-bye.
Okay. So Chelsea will be on QVC too. Right now, we're going to invite Ray Rastelli back to the table to talk about basically the tenderloin of the pork chop.
Hi, Jane. How are you?
Good. How are you doing, Ray?
Good. Hi, Monifa.
Hey, these are good, Ray.
You know, yeah, we know how much everyone loves our premium prime pork that comes from the Pennsylvania Dutch country. That's what this is. This is the prime rib of pork. I call it a prime rib pork steak because it's just really too good to be called a pork chop. But we went a step further with this. We took that same Pennsylvania Dutch, look at the juices coming out of that, right? Imagine a pork chop. That's why I call it a pork steak. That's that juicy, that's been trimmed completely from end to end. And this is what I think I love most about it, and what our guests love most about it, is I can just take a fork and I can go right through the center of that with a fork. That's how tender each one of these pork steaks will be. So back to where they come from, which is so important, right? Pennsylvania Dutch country, farmers I've been working with for over 45 years. And that's really important because as a butcher, I need to know where the meat comes from if I'm going to serve it to you at home and give you the very, very best. So premium pork, Pennsylvania Dutch country, prime rib. So let me take you to the prime rib of pork. That's what this is. We know the prime rib of beef is really the most decadent piece of beef. It's full of flavor. Well, the prime rib of pork is the same way. This is the whole prime rib, and we cut them into these beautiful steaks that you see here. We trim all of the outside excess fat off of there, but we take it a step further. We take it and we brine this for about 2 hours, and we slowly massage the flavors into this. Now we've got our traditional steakhouse, which everyone seems to love, and it's our traditional steakhouse seasoning. So when you get our steaks home and you have that seasoning packet, that's what we've actually, that's really the flavor you're gonna get from this, Jane, and it really gives you a beautiful steakhouse robust flavor. And then of course the other is our maple brown sugar, which is really
Ray, I don't mean to interrupt you, but let me just tell you, I just cut a little sliver off, and the first thing I smelled before I even put it to my mouth was that maple. Oh,
yes,
so good.
So if you like a little sweeter.
It is a little sweeter, and I want to show you how actually not only how tender that is, but also how juicy that is. Of course, maple and brown sugar goes real well with pork.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's why I added it to this. I mean, look at how beautiful and tender and moist that is.
And what I love too is now you have a little bit of flavor in each one of them, but you can always do other things with them too. So it can be that perfect entree, carving board, pork chop. at $7.70. You can't beat that in a restaurant. And again, a restaurant's going to charge a whole lot more.
They sure are.
But look at all the other things. So carving board, if you've got a big family coming over, or if you are, so inclined to do the chicken fried pork with the little chicken gravy.
I mean, why not?
I love the idea too of using this on a salad, cutting it up and then just putting a little balsamic drizzle on that, or just with your mac and potato side. So you can do so many things, even breaded pork, Parmesan. So there are lots of ways that you can use this. Don't let the fact that these have the light flavor throw you off. They come individually packaged, so this is what each one is going to look like. It's flash frozen and marinated already.
Nice.
So when you take them out, you might want to squeeze out the rest of the juice and marinade into that pan too as you're heating it up so that you get all that delicious flavor. And if you are someone who has had the dried out pork chops before, please believe us when we say these are tender and delicious. They are not dried out at all. Right, Ray?
So juicy.
You're so right. You mentioned things to do with it. You can just grill it the way that I did here, but I love putting them on a kebab. And one of the reasons, kebabs can be kind of finicky because if you don't have a really tender piece of meat, the meat will be undercooked and the vegetables overcooked. This piece of meat is just so juicy and so moist. It'll stay moist all the way through the cooking process and it'll be tender. I did it on a salad like you did as well, which I love. And the reason I love it on a salad is because I don't want to bite through any fat. And this particular pork steak has 0 fat on it. We have trimmed it completely from one end to the other. Or it can just be that center of the plate entree, which is what we have here. And when you think about putting a prime pork ribeye steak on your plate, I mean, that is absolutely incredible. It's 6 ounces. It's the large, one we do here. And there's a reason why so many people love it. And I'm going to take this one here. This is our traditional. Now, this is nice and thick and juicy. And look at how big and beautiful this is.
That would be so much in a restaurant.
But I want you to see something. This is a fork. I'm going to go right through this. And look how thick this pork steak is. I went right through the center of that with my fork. So you can cook this any way you'd like. Do not overcook it, right? 145 degrees is all that you've got to get to get this premium pork. But anything you do with chicken or veal, you can do with this. So whether it's a Parmesan, a piccata, a pork fried steak, so many things you can do. If you use pork instead of chicken or veal, you're going to see that this is incredibly flavorful, and I think that's the reason why it's such a QVC
These
favorite.
are not your grandmother's pork chops, let me tell you that.
No, they are not.
And 96318 is your item number. If you want the Steakhouse, that is back after selling out the last time we offered it when we debuted them. That has kind of a rich steakhouse flavor. If you're familiar with any of Rastelli's steak seasoning, it has that type of flavor profile. And we have about 200 of those remaining. If you want the maple brown sugar, that one is like a smoky sweet, just like a bacon almost flavor would be.
Yes.
We have fewer than 150. And if you want the combo, we also have that available. That's 5 of each flavor. There's about 350 of those remaining. Don't forget, you can lock into this on auto delivery, receive a shipment every 60 days for 1 full year. And for 1 full year, let me tell you something, your family and friends are going to enjoy some really good eats because of it. So, Ray, we thank you for joining us for Gourmet.
Thank you.
Have a great
Thank you so
evening.
much, guys. Great to seeing you. Bye-bye.
All right, good to see you too. And we encourage you to, again, continue in the process of placing your order for this and everything in the show. You have about a minute left at our one-time only price on the Leonetti's Stromboli. 2 hours of logo with Amy Strand is coming up next. See ya.
Bye, everyone.